It's here again. Fresh edition of Carers Appreciation Night Can. Date, Saturday 7th of March 2026. Time, 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. Location, Holiday Inn, Corby. A red carpet event, after party from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Esteemed guest of honour, Councillor Callum Riley, Mayor of Corby. Special features, Certificate of Appreciation, advice for providers, community networking, dinner and many more. Admission is £50. For participation and partnership, call the numbers on your screen. Carers Appreciation Night 2026. Don't miss out.
Hello. Welcome back to all of our amazing viewers and listening. This is Afrinity production and we are leading up to our Carers Appreciation Night happening on the 7th of April. We are just about 5 days away and we are looking forward to appreciating all the carers and providers in the Midlands and also around the UK. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, tickets are going fast. So make sure that you secure your seats, come with your team. And if you're a provider, come and celebrate someone who is doing a phenomenal work in your organization. We want to be appreciating all of the carers. So all of the details is down below. As you can see, admission is £50 and you can grab your ticket on the Eventbrite. So really excited. This is the 4th edition and we have an amazing lineup. We've got great speakers and today I'm going to be joined by one of them. We have Namatirai, who was with us a couple of weeks ago, who spoke around the legal aspect of cares, and she is the director of Bridge Legal and Care Consultancy, and I cannot wait to have a conversation. So let's welcome Namatirai. Hello, Nama. How are you?
Hello, Beamie. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Hello, everyone at home.
We had to have you back. We had such an amazing session last time when you spoke to us about your journey, about why you started Bridge and Legal, and we wanted to have you back so you can talk to us. And also I know you're going to be speaking on the night, so we can have a little bit of a taster and just really find out more about your business, your firm, what you do, and how you can help and support carers as you will be there on the evening. So it'll be a really great greet and meet, for people to get to know you a little bit more. So I hope you're excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Good.
Definitely I am.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long drive though.
Yeah. So you are coming. So how far are you coming from?
I'm not very keen drive. I think it's about 3 hours away. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. You see, that is the dedication, and we really appreciate for you to come with such a long way, to attend this evening. We're really honored to have you on the night. So just to kind of follow up a little bit, since we kind of spoke about, so just for those who might be listening for the first time, who might just be hearing you for the very first time, tell us a little bit about your migrant journey.
My migrant journey is quite dramatic. I was a practicing lawyer back home in Zimbabwe. So when this, the Boris wave started, most of it call it the Boris wave, I sort of felt a tug in my heart to say, okay, go to the UK and see what it's about. I want to lie to you. At first, it was just curiosity, like, oh, okay, I'm just going to tag along and see, The London Bridge was the highlight for me. I just wanted to stand on the London Bridge, nothing else. Of course, I had the qualifications to come, having specialized in several healthcare legal things, though, but it was not specifically on the care delivery. But I made my way to the UK, and I don't want to lie to you. It was an amazing transformation.
Wow.
And at some moments, it was shocking, like the culture shock. The things that we take for granted when you're back in Africa, the things that you come here and say, oh, this is actually an issue when you're dealing with people in this sort of jurisdiction. So I had to readjust to everything, how I see life, how I see things. And I had to sort of requalify into the care sector for some time. I was specializing in care management. I was specializing in compliance specific to the care industry. So I kept the legal thing at the background for that time. And I did live-in care. I did mental health care. I tried my luck with domiciliary care. I didn't like it. Too much.
No.
And then fast forward to now, I just thought, okay, let me sort of be the champion, the bridge in between the legal aspect and the care aspect of things in the UK. And I believe I'm positioned to champion it to the best of my ability, because I've lived in both worlds. And I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, first of all, a great landmark to come to, you know, the London Bridge. I think that's the first thing everyone kind of thinks about. I need to go to London and see this, you know, amazing landmark. And I was just going to follow up on one of the things that you said. You try different things, you know, different types of care, and it just opens up that world so you can get the exposure, I suppose. And then you kind of found where, you know, you specialize in and where you felt you can give the most, I suppose. And how important do you think that was in terms of you now owning that legal firm to actually get that exposure and get the experience? Because as you said, you lived it. So it's not just by the books, it's actually by the experience.
It was actually very critical, because from where I'm standing, I'm not just someone who is sort of observing. I have more empathy. I understand if someone comes with a case that is related to what they've experienced in the field, be it in a hospital, be it in a domiciliary setup, everywhere that most migrant workers find themselves in. I have been there and I've experienced most of the things they sort of go through. So if now I'm standing on the other side of being the help, the legal, you know, expert in their issues, I'm talking from a point of empathy. You know, it's not about money. It's not about, you know, anything else that people might think the law is about. It's now really about safeguarding the interest of fields that you have been in, safeguarding the interest of fellow migrant workers. And, you know, it feels personal. It feels deep. So it's something I can literally do for free, to be honest. Because it feels that personal to me.
No, I love that. You know, just thinking about words that my kind of mentor had mentioned before, just around what is that thing that you can do even if you don't get paid. And really that's where the passion and the purpose really gets birthed from, the thing you can just do. Nobody has to ask you what to do or pay you to do it. You would just do it. And I can definitely see that passion. I love the name. What kind of inspired the bridge? I know you mentioned between the legal aspect and the care and just being that bridge.
What inspired it was I found that when I was working in the field and speaking to fellow carers, you'd find that they would have challenges. They've just come from wherever they've come from, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, South Africa, wherever. They have challenges that they face in terms of whatever legal issues they face. But because they're not used to the system, and sometimes because they don't really know if they have access to actual help, they just bottle it up, or they just make do with whatever situation they're facing. There was no leeway for them to access help. Of course, it was there, but they were not signposted adequately to where they could get help. So they'll just work and pile on a lot of pressures that could have been relieved had there been a leeway to get assistance in areas they were struggling in. So that's why I thought, okay, Bridge Legal and Care Consultancy. And if you look at my logo, it's got the chess motif. Like I'm a wicked chess player. I play chess like that.
Oh wow!
So I just borrowed from the strategic bit of it. Like, you need to navigate this care system with strategy, because a lot of you find that a lot of carers have gotten into trouble at work. They've gotten into trouble with the immigration. not because they're bad people, but
Mhm.
because they have the sort of strategy around whatever they sought to do. So
Wow.
that's why I have to put the chess motif, like whatever you're navigating, have a strategy around it, and you'll definitely make it.
Wow. I love that. I love that because yeah, having strategy is so important. That's speaking my
Yes.
language. It's and just also adding that on top of what we do. We're going to talk a little bit more about your services and everything, but it's not just the legal, it's not just the care and
Yes.
the years of experience that you have, but actually
Yes.
the passion to show the carers that you need to have strategy with how you're operating, on site, off site, and just how
Yes.
you packaging yourself, I suppose. And one thing that really stood out is you was talking about access. So just want to take you back a little bit when you were in the field and doing the care work on the other side, I suppose.
Mhm.
What kind of access did you have, and what's the difference to now? I just want to see how the times changed in terms of having the access, and how did you navigate that?
It's still limited, to be honest, because when you're in the field, the people that you sort of meet face to face are your fair carers,
Mm.
your managers, and the rapport between managers and the carers is not the best that you can have in terms of actually getting assistance, because everyone is working around the rota, everyone is working around getting targets, or go to this house, go to this hospital, do this, do this. When it comes to the real things that the carers are facing at the background of all that, after they knock off, after they finish work, when they now need to navigate family issues, immigration issues, or any dispute they might have with the management that they work with day to day, there was no fallback position to say, okay, I've heard an issue with my employer. Who do I go to? You're a sponsored worker. You can't wake up one day and say, I'm going to go to the police, or I'm going to go to a solicitor. They're going to charge you an arm and a leg, most of them. Oh, it was just riddled in a lot of red tape and uncertainty. And to be honest, the space still remains like that. Although there are some organizations that are coming up to sort of do similar things, like bridging the gap and make people like migrant workers have a voice speaking for them. But I think there is room for more advocates to come up and make the migrant community more comfortable and save them at their point of need.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what would you say is the biggest, or one of the biggest blockers, or issues that migrants are facing right now, or carers, should I say, are facing at
I
the
would say
moment?
the certificate of sponsorship itself
Okay.
is the biggest hurdle, because attached to it is a lot of strings. You have to work for that particular employer, and in most cases, the issues that the migrant carers are facing are attached to the treatment they are getting at that particular place of employment. So the employment status of migrant workers is linked to their immigration status.
Yeah.
So they usually have double problems. When they have an employment problem, an immigration problem follows thereafter. So they can't pivot around those issues without damaging the other. You cannot safely say, okay, I'm being exploited, I'm leaving you. You've got family, you've got children who are at school who are depending on your visa. So if you leave this exploitative employer, you are going to lose your immigration status.
Yeah.
So what it means, they're going to stay in an exploitative environment because they've already moved
Yeah.
to the UK and they're tied to this one sponsor. So a lot of problems are
It's
coming
quite
from this.
complex. Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. And I guess
Yeah.
that kind of leads us into your services and, what you do and how you help these kind of cases. So just tell us a little bit about, what your service areas are.
Okay. My service areas are curated around that particular, niche market, like the migrant workers. Of course, by in terms of numbers, you find that most of them are the carers. So it is employment law, Like if you've got a dispute, if you think you're being exploited, unfair dismissals, a lot of them are happening around, and most carers just walk away and say, what can I do? Let me just look for an alternative certificate of sponsorship. And some, unfortunately, have actually had to face extra expenses of having to look for another COS, having to relocate, and leaving some monies they are owed because they are rushing to catch up with their immigration status. They cannot pursue their employment disputes because of the immigration status that will be chasing them. So it's immigration law as well. If you want to apply for your loved ones, if you want to extend your stay, if you also want your parents or relatives to visit, we can assist you applying for your visitor visas and the like. And now with upcoming, a lot of them are coming up for indefinite leave to remain. We will stand by to assist with that as well. And we also deal with family law. You find that when they are leaving, a lot of them are coming fall of the criminal justice system. You find them fight a lot. I don't know what is making that dynamic quite prevalent in the UK. People who come here are fighting a lot, and they're ending up going to the police station, social services being involved. They have to go through a divorce. They have to do a lot of things that are associated with, family life. So we do divorce, we do child settlement issues.
Wow.
Yeah, so mainly everything that has to do with the settlement of a migrant in the UK and on the legal side. And you need assistance if you ever find yourself at the police station and you need help. If you ever, we're just there, we're just on standby. It's, and also another area, maybe it's not so akin to the carers, so to speak, or migrant, but you find with the recent changes to sort of change from 5 years to 15 years. When we're now talking about the chess strategy, we are curating solutions for migrant workers on how they can pivot around those changes, because right now we don't know what's going to pass or what is not going to pass. So we are acting as consultants, business consultants, for people who can actually pivot out of those roles to set up something that they can sponsor for themselves. So we are also business consultants in that sense. So we help you strategize around what you can do as an individual around the changes that are being proposed. So if you have a business plan, or if you have another career that you want to sort of explore, and you want to see how you can do that compliantly in terms of immigration, in terms of what is permissible within the confines of UK regulations, you step in to sort of signpost you to the right things to do.
Wow, that's fantastic. I think it's about building that security, is what I'm kind of getting. So you're covered on all angles, and you need to have, people like yourselves who'll be able to consult with and strategize with, because like you said, we don't know what is going to happen, and there's so much change happening at the moment. I can imagine the worry and anxiety people are having to go through, and you mentioned about the impact it's having on families, and instead of moving forward, families are attacking one another, and it's just being in that cooker pressure system, and it's really important to have yourselves to be able to lead and give that advice. And I know you also, just for the viewers out there, our sponsor as well, and our partners. What kind of drove that kind of partnership and collaboration from your end?
It's I don't want to lie, it was the name. Affinity. I was also following some of your programs, and I really, really, really did resonate with what you stand for. And it's human facing. It's the human side of service delivery, so to speak. So it's more on how people are relating, how people are living, how people are adjusting, as divorced from the commercial and side of things. So it spoke to me on the level that I operate on, the human facing side. despite people needing to make business, despite people needing to, sell whatever they need to sell by all means, at the back of that are people who've got real issues, who've got real problems, who are navigating real things. So,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I think even in certain sectors, there is such an emphasis on the customer's journey and just putting people at the heart and forefront of every service. And it's not just about what you're selling or the product, it's the people, it's the impact. So we're really excited to have you as partners and sponsors for the event. And I know you're going to be speaking on the night, so just tell us a little bit about what should we be expecting from your session, and people should be bringing pen and papers. What should they be looking out for?
I'm going to speak about the winner mentality, the capacity to be versatile in all environments, the capacity to bend and not break. If you're a migrant, you need to rise above situations. You need to, to pivot around anything without breaking. And of course, I'm going to zero in on my personal journey as well. And how to, as a lawyer, of course, the bias will be on the legal aspect of it. But the main thing is versatility and keeping on. We came, we saw, and we will conquer.
Come on, I love that. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm definitely going to be taking some notes. I can tell already it's going to be a fantastic session. The winner's mentality. And I can see that you're very passionate about migrants, and like you mentioned, the people aspect, and putting people first and seeing the human, and not just the money or just the career. Why specifically migrants?
I think it's born from, I think it has a lot to do with my history. I think I was born an advocate of some sort. I always look to the underdog. If in any environment that you find me, you just find me advocating for the underdog. And it would appear in the UK right now, the underdog are the migrant workers in every aspect of things, whether it's policy, whether it's resources, everything. It's they need us more. The migrants need us more.
No, absolutely. And I love that, it's the underdog, and, migrants, work so hard. And I think sometimes it's that element as, giving the voice to the voiceless, like you mentioned earlier. Some people, they might be in the right, but because they don't know their access or they don't know their rights, they just move on and leave money behind that they have.
There's a lot of fear, Beamie. There's a lot of fear, and the fear is so crippling. And what worries me is how unreasonable most of the fear is, and it's been sort of encouraged. I don't know if it's deliberate, but the fear is so crippling that they are being exploited, and they move on, and they don't seek compensation, they don't seek redress, they just let events and then they pay the eventual price for it. I've heard a lot of cases about carers who've just fallen dead, and a lot of people are saying, oh, they had blood pressure, but if you dig deeper at bottom of these issues, you find most of them had issues that they could not ventilate, that they could not, so it goes to the bottom of we need to be involved. Yes, we need to really stand in the gap for some of these people.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be wrapping up now. We've just got 5 minutes till the end of the show. I guess I just wanted to ask just around the question, and you'll probably touch more on this, on the event. But in terms of the exploitation that you mentioned, what are some of the signs that, these carers can be looking out for to identify whether they are being exploited, or what type of signs should they be looking out for?
I'll take you to the genesis of the health and care visa itself, Beamie. If you look at the stories that were going around in the media, at the very beginning, you find there were a lot of errant employers who were actually charging for it. Exorbitant amounts. People had to sell houses, people had to sell land, people parted with a lot of money. And at that point, most of them were not aware that the fees themselves were not due. They just assumed if you don't pay that much, you are not going to get a chance to go to the UK. Fast forward, come to the UK, some of the employers didn't have the actual work. So they brought them in and dumped them in the UK with no actual work to give them, and they had to make ends meet by themselves. So those are the sort of people that have a very valid claim against the system and against the employers who sort of did that to them. But you find they could not do anything about it because at the same time, they are facing immigration issues that are tied to the same exploitative employer. So it's a double-edged sword in that sense, but always not lost. Nothing gets buried forever. And if ever there are people who feel like they were hard done in that sense, that's where we stand in the gap to say, you know what you did was not right. You need to make it right. So there are ways around. And then some are waking up at 5 a.m. Beamie to go to work and coming back midnight, and they're getting paid for 6 hours.
Wow.
So they work the whole day and they don't get paid for it. And there's nothing they can do. That's all that is there. So they have to work Monday to Sunday for them to get the hours for the week. Those are some of the issues that are happening, and carers are carrying on, and some are falling, dropping dead because the weight is just too much for some of them. Yeah. And then there's some employers who are just discriminatory. They'll just discriminate for no reason, apparently, but they're just doing that because they can. So a lot has been going on, and I think it's about time that the carers get an ear, get a solution for most of the issues they got. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much for putting all that into perspective. And thank you so much for coming back on the show. It's been very educative. And yeah, we've learned so much, and I can't wait to hear more on the day. So yes, to all of the carers and providers, please do grab your tickets. Go to Eventbrite. In fact, run there now. Make sure you secure yourself a seat. We are going to have a amazing event celebrating carers and providers, and we've got an amazing lineup of speakers. As you've heard already this evening, we've had Nama, director of Bridge Legal and Care Consultancy, with us, and she'll be speaking on the night. Yes, so thank you so much. We are here Mondays and Thursdays. The line is still open. So if you do have any questions, please do still send them, because, we can still do something, Q&A on the night. We can ask questions. So we want to make this all about you. This is all for you carers out there who are doing phenomenal work, and very deserving to be appreciated. So thank you so much, Nama. Really appreciate having you on the show.
Bye,
and
everybody.
I look forward to seeing you on the 7th.
Yeah, then.
Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
It's Callum Riley, Mayor of Corby Town. I just wanted to say that I'm really looking forward and very honoured to be attending the Carers Appreciation Night, which is taking place at the Holiday Inn on Saturday, the 7th of March 2026. I'll be there as a distinguished guest, and I'm really looking forward to being there to recognising and appreciating our carers and the vital work that you do, and hope for it to be a fantastic evening.